Hello everyone, welcome to Chapter 5 Part 3. Chapter 5 Part 3, I'm going to teach all of you a shortcut for solving problems similar to those in Chapter 5 Part 1 and Chapter 5 Part 2. Everything I'm about to do right now is not in your book. This is something extra. And unfortunately, it only pertains to those using Excel for PC. Excel for PCs as opposed to Excel for Mac has a little bit more functionality, and in this case it has a shortcut. Now if you have Excel for Mac, an old version prior to 2008, I believe you can do this as well, but the more recent versions don't have this functionality. I apologize for that, but I still want to show the shortcut to those who are able to use it. If you are using Excel for Mac and really want to use this shortcut, or you can use a computer. Most libraries will have it. You can also partition your hard drive and set it up, but that can be expensive because you have to buy more software and it's quite a bit of work. Also, if you have an old PC laptop or computer somewhere with Excel on it, even if it's 10 or 12 years old, 15 years old even, this should work on those older versions of Excel as well if you wanted to do this. So what we're going to do is we're going to set up a problem here where you have the data. So on a problem where you don't have the data, like in the two samples, we were given the number, the mean, and the standard deviation. And this would not work on those problems. But if you had a problem where you were actually given the two lists of data, that's where this would work. So I'm going to make up a problem here. We're just going to say age of students. So we're going to say the age of all of you, the age of students. I'm going to do a merge and center for that there. They see it gets rid of the line and makes everything centered and pretty. Another cosmetic thing in Excel for you. We're going to do men and we're going to do women. And so we're going to enter in a long list of ages, and then we're going to see if the age of men and the age of women of female students are in fact the same or different. And we're going to do that using the shortcut. But first we have to enter in all the data. So we are going to use ages of typical undergraduate students, which we're going to be all over the board. And I am making these up as I go. And so I don't know how the answer is going to turn out. And so I'm going to go ahead and do about 30 or so values for each. And we'll go ahead and do one more. So we started on row 4 and we're on row 35, so we're good. So that's the age of men. So let's go ahead and enter the ages for women. Nope, nobody's 353 years old. Apologize for that mistake. Now, you don't need to necessarily use the exact same ages I am using. You can enter in your own list of numbers if you're following along. That would be just fine, or you could enter them exactly as I am. If I'm going too fast for you, you can pause the video at any time. Okay, so we have two equal lists. Actually, let's put one more in the list for women. Okay, so we have the list of data. So now what we're going to do is we need to install our analysis pack. Now some of you may already have this installed in Excel, others may not, so I'm going to show you how to do it. You're going to go to File, Options, Add-ins. Make sure it says Excel Add-ins right here. Click Go and select the Analysis Tool Pack. Now mine's selected because I already have it installed. Just check that box and hit OK. Now it's installed. It's really that. Some of you, if you have an older version, an older computer, sometimes you'll get a little spinning wheel and it'll take a few minutes. Okay, next I'm going to go to Data up here. Then I'm going to go to Data Analysis. That's the new service pack or tool pack we just installed. And I'm going to go down here to t-test toSample assuming unequal variances. Right there. That's the one we want. And click OK. We're going to go variable range 1. I'm going to select everything including the title. I'm going to select all of those. And then for variable range 2, once again, I am going to select all of the values including the title. Now I'm going to click Labels here because I included the title. I like to do that because then the titles appear in my data, so it's easier for me to read. Under hypothesize mean difference, you're going to put 0. And for output range, actually I'm going to click right there. I'm just going to click output range to be, say, E5. So that's where it's going to put this all the data. Close there. So I'm going to double check everything. Everything looks good. Alpha 0.05 like we usually have it, which means a 95% confidence level. And hit OK. And it gives me this fancy little chart. I'm going to spread this column out a little bit. Say, well, what does this mean? Well, as we go down here, we have our t-critical. Remember t-critical from our other calculations? Our t-critical is 2.0009. Okay? And our t-stat, they calculated for us as 0.64. So we have our t-stat and we have our t-critical. So those are done. In this particular case, I didn't know how this would turn out. The t-stat is less than the t-critical. So, I haven't taken the time to set up my hypothesis, but as always, if the two sets of data are the same, that would be your null hypothesis, and if they are different, that would be a research hypothesis. In this case, and so if the t-stat is less than the critical t, just like in the previous two examples from part 1 and part 2, if the t-stat is less, we accept the null hypothesis. So in this particular case, we could say that the average age of men and women as students in this whatever hypothetical school this might be are the same. Okay, so in this case, the age of students, the men and the women, are the same. Now we could change the values and come out with a different result, but that's a pretty big shortcut. Now if on an assignment for this class you're given the data and you want to use this shortcut, you're very welcome to do so. Just make it very clear that you understand, maybe highlight your t-stat and highlight your critical t, type out your result and your conclusion like you would in the other problems, and you may submit it just like this. All right. We will be back for Chapter 6.